right now you should have gone over basic skills and how to develop basic skills in a flipped classroom. Um, so some of the tools that you use in the flipped classroom are, using backwards design, identifying learning targets, and those are things like topics and skills and techniques that you want students to master. You want to also recognize what formative assessment is, the daily assessment of students that are a little more informal rather than more formal ones, or what we call summative. And then we also want to consider mastery scale. That's how do we communicate our learning process? How do I know that I'm making progress, towards the expectation that the teacher has? And so you're communicating that with students, and also, and students are communicating that back with you. And you can see in our previous PowerPoint, you can see, that we actually asked you, how to rate yourself, right? That's one way in which we can ask, and how and track students. And so we showed you an example of, to do that, to get feedback from students, how they feel on that. But you would want to have what, based on the level of expectation, what does it begin to look like, and what do I have to do next as a student? So moving beyond that, and moving to now, getting into the second and third phases of our development, and that is, we want to develop managerial skills, we want to develop entrepreneurial skills. And so the question is, what frameworks or what processes are we going to use, and we call it, what tools are we going to use in order to do that most successfully? There's two primary tools that we use in the development of managerial and entrepreneurial skills. For managerial skills, we use project-based learning. The reason that we use project-based learning is because in most projects, the desired outcome is given. So just like an owner that would hire a manager, they have a certain outcome that they're looking for, and it's the expectation of the manager to develop a process and a team and work towards that desired outcome. Right? They don't decide the outcome. The actual owner of the company does. And so you're working as what we call middle management, someone who's actually responsible for developing a process that achieves a desired outcome of others. And an entrepreneur, however, has to actually create the value themselves. And so someone who is an entrepreneur and then has to decide what is most valuable in this scenario, just like an owner would. And then they have to develop a process, a solution, or product around that either eliminates a problem or adds value to somebody else. So oftentimes in an entrepreneurial lesson or problem-based lesson, you may be given a problem, but you have to decipher, is that the actual core of the problem or not? There may be deeper issues that are involved. And so you want to make sure that you develop the right solutions and the right processes in order to get a beneficial outcome that has value for other people. So managers already know what the value is. They already know what the desired results need to be, and so they develop a process to get there. In a problem base, you don't know what the problem is. You don't know what the value is. So you have to determine the value and then develop the process. So it's one step further. And so we use project-based learning for managerial skills and problem-based learning for entrepreneurial skills. And so those are the two tools that we use in order to create value at the next level. And so, one of the things that we want to do is we want to bring that to you. And so they're very similar in their setup, but what's asked of students is slightly different, and I think you'll start to see that. So we have some tips of developing standards around each one of those things.